was downstairs listening on the headphones, the best seat in the house, actually, for hearing things. And I thought the Ravel was wonderful, and it sounded like you liked it too. Okay, we have questions, and I'll just go around. This is one we get frequently. It is information about the four of you in the string quartet, the schools you've gone to, the years of playing, how long together in this group, and so forth. So I think from reading the bio, you're a founding member of the group. So why don't you speak for a little bit of the members?
I'm a founding member of the quartet, and I think as was mentioned earlier, this is our 35th anniversary.
She started when she was 5.
I grew up in New Jersey and went to Juilliard Prep and then Juilliard, studying with Dorothy DeLay, a wonderful, wonderful teacher. My whole family are musicians. My father was a trumpet player and a high school music teacher. My mother's a pianist, and all three of my siblings are violinists. And in fact, my brother John is concertmaster of Baltimore Symphony, right in what's here. I play on a Carlo Cinoni violin from Venice, Italy, from 1720.
That's great.
I joined the quartet in 1990. It was a great moment in my musical life, and had been also at Juilliard before that, studying with the same teacher as Laurie Dorothy DeLay. And I come also from a musical family. My father was the founding cellist of the Juilliard Quartet, and then went on to become a conductor. My mother was a wonderful pianist, so we had a piano trio in our house as I grew up, which was really a great way to be initiated into the musical, into playing music in my life. I play a violin from the year 1675. It was made in Cremona by Giovanni Maria del Busetto.
Thank you. Let's walk on the edge here. Oops.
All right, I'm the newest addition to the quartet, I'm sorry. I joined the quartet 5 years ago. It's a very exciting moment in my life. I grew up in Germany, which you might notice on my thick accent. So I grew up doing lots and lots of chamber music, and I came to New York 20 years ago. And what else? I'm playing on a modern Italian instrument by Cavani.
Thanks so much.
Only one left. I'm Dan Avshalomoff. I'm the violist of the quartet. I joined after their first year. I too studied at Juilliard. I grew up in Portland, Oregon. And also from a musical family. My grandfather, father, and older brother are all composer-conductors, or were. But being second born, I was free to choose whatever path I began on violin just before my 5th birthday and switched to viola in my turbulent teens. I'm playing an instrument by Andrea Amati, also from Cremona, made in the year 1568.
Well, I'm sorry, that's all the time we have for questions. I knew you'd love that. I have to say, personally, Menahem and I met at the Library of Congress back in the 80s, 87, when I first started there, and it was the most wonderful interview, talking to the 3 members of the Beaux-Arts trio, and I always thought of Menahem as the philosopher. Whenever I asked him a question, he would sort of, give me an answer that was better than I had anticipated. And one was, when the Beaux-Arts trio had won the Prix du Disque and was nominated for a Grammy Award. And I said, "Oh, that must be wonderful." And he said to me, see, I'm stealing his thunder. He said to me, "Awards are like flowers on your lapel. They're really nice for a while, but then they wilt." He said, "It's the music that's so important," and I've never forgot that. And I want to thank you for that wisdom back then. And this question comes from someone who is curious about the quality of the pianos you played in China, and also curious about the venues in which you played.
I would like to say that I haven't played as beautiful pianos as the one in China. I didn't do much playing. I mean, I did one concert in the beautiful auditorium close to or in the Forbidden City. It's very beautiful. They had a new Steinway grant. But I was teaching in one studio. The pianos were magnificent, new. I was teaching in another one, and the piano were magnificent and new. I had a rehearsal with the orchestra upstairs. The concert grant was magnificent and new. That's all I can say. It was absolutely hair-raisingly wonderful. I have never seen so many good pianos in one place. And I'm at the Piano University, where we have hundreds of pianos.
What were the audiences like? About what size?
The audience there was a very big one, so I don't know. I went to just to a chamber music competition, which I was the chairman of the jury, and their last concert was in a small hall, but it was filled and very enthusiastic. But the big hall, there were many people there. I don't know how big is the hall. It looked like 2,000 people. What? About 2,000 people. Yeah. And they know how to applaud. In contrast to here.
You mentioned IU, and someone in the audience was there from 82 to 86 studying viola with George Janser. Yes, and he sends his best and says, wondered if you're still at Indiana, and we already talked about it.
I'm still at Indiana, and I have a full class of 15 students. That is immense, but it's a great pleasure because they are all gifted, loving music, and the spirit is something that gives my life a reason.
Thank you very much. I'd like one last question from the quartet, because we have some young people, and I wonder if you could talk about perhaps what it's like to decide on music. I mean, all of you have come from musical families, but the young people who are here who want to know, what should I do with music?
I think you have to follow your heart. It's a hard life and a hard, difficult career. There's a lot of very talented people out there, and but I think for what we do, playing quartets, I wouldn't trade anything for it. It's a magical experience to work with three other people whose opinions you respect, and you enjoy traveling with them, and you learn something on a daily basis from them. It just doesn't get better than that.
I think one of the things about music, but I'm sure other walks of life as well, when you feel that you don't have a choice, then this is what happened to me, and I think it's what happened to a lot of people who go into music. You know that you're going to do that, and there's really nothing else that you're going to do. Once you, as my father used to say to me, when I didn't want to practice when I was 9 and 10 years old, he said, don't quit, because if you get the bug, then you're going to want to do it. And I got the bug at about 14 or 15 years old, and that's when I knew, hearing music at that point of my life, that's what I had to do, and so I followed it. But I think it's not always a decision. When you really have a passion for it, you know you're going to do it.
Thank you very, very much. Menahem, you would agree, right?
Absolutely. Yes. It is when you do feel there is no other things that you want to do. Because music and the profession doesn't promise a rose garden, doesn't promise anything. But where the promise lies is in your work. When you study a great piece of music, you get enriched, first of all. Your soul gets fulfilled, and you desire to have people share with you that love is what makes you a musician.
Thank you very much. Thank you again for your questions. Welcome to the first concert, and you can meet the musicians afterward.